In this video, I'm going to discuss the subtraction property of inequality. The subtraction property of inequality just states that if you subtract the same number from both sides of an inequality, it produces an equivalent inequality. So it's not changing the value of the inequality in any way. This is very similar to if you were working with equations and to isolate the variable, you needed to undo addition, you would subtract from both sides. Same thing here. Okay. So with this first example, we're trying to isolate the variable r, and to do that we have to get rid of the plus 4, which to do that we have to use our inverse operation, which would mean we have to subtract 4 from both sides. This is the subtraction property of inequality. We have an inequality, we subtract the same number from both sides, and we get the same inequality. It doesn't change the value at all. When we do this, plus 4 and minus 4 will cancel out because those go to 0. And we're going to be left with r is less than 5 minus 4, or just 1. If you wanted to sketch out r is less than 1, I'm going to just really briefly sketch out a number line here. Let's do -1, 0, and +1. We have just a less than symbol, which means that we're going to have an open dot at 1. If it was less than or equal to, we would fill it in. But the less than symbol means that we don't want 1 included in our solution. And we want everything less than 1. So think about the number smaller than 1, which is everything to the left. That represents all the numbers less than 1. Going on to the second inequality, we're looking at -8 is greater than or equal to 8 plus y. Again, we're trying to get y by itself. The 8, technically, we're adding because it's positive. This plus sign right here just goes with the y. It doesn't go with the 8. So we have to think about, okay, is the 8 positive or negative? In this case, it's positive, which means we have to subtract 8 from both sides to get y by itself. Again, that's utilizing the subtraction property of inequality. Whatever you do to one side, you have to do to the other. So if we subtract 8 from the right, we have to subtract 8 from the left. And when we simplify, -8 minus 8 is -16. The inequality symbol stays the same. +8 minus 8 goes to 0, so we're just left with a positive y. If you want to, you can rewrite the inequality with the variable on the left, which is normally a little bit easier to read and then graph. If you do that, notice the inequality symbol is pointing towards the y, so we still want it pointing towards the y when we rewrite it. So we're flipping that around and then just putting -16 on the left, or the right, sorry. So we have y is less than or equal to -16. To graph that, I'm going to go ahead and put -16, 0, and +16. I always like to just be symmetrical and then throw 0 in there. Because we're talking about less than or equal to, that means we're going to have a filled in dot at -16. And then we're going to go ahead and shade to the left because we want every number smaller than -16. And that's how you utilize your subtraction property of inequality.